So one like this. So if we're trying to write this as in general form, tells us that any number, so the coefficients can be decimals. The easiest way to do this is just with regression, right? So this is, all we have to do is enter those pre-ordered pairs in our stat editor. So we go stat, to get to the stat screen, enter for edit, and then we just put in those numbers, right? We make this quicker, let's just pretend those are the right numbers. Because we remember the x is going L1, the y is going L2, but it's easy to put those in. So pretend those are the right numbers. Then all I have to do to get the equation of the parabola, the quadratic function in general form, is just stat, calc, and then I want quadratic regression, so the fifth option. And if I do that, now yours will look a little different, right? Yours will say, have some stuff, and then it'll say calculate at the bottom. But if I hit enter, it does the same thing. So it gives us back the answer. So the answer is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is negative 2.3 repeating. They want this rounded to the nearest thousandth. So when we put this in, let's just go ahead and put this in. When we put this in, we're just filling in the blanks, right? F of x equals, so we would just go negative 2.333 x squared plus 19.333 x minus 36. Okay. Oh, what?
Because you didn't use the numbers you were using.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go. Thanks. We didn't use those numbers, right?
Yeah.
But if we had, we would have gotten that one right.
Alright, so that's what I did wrong yesterday. Because I got that answer wrong. Because I put y equals.
Yeah, don't put y equals. Yeah, all you're doing is fill in the blanks.
I'm angry because I was like,
If you got everything else right, just show me though. I'd be willing to go in and fix it for you. Okay, this is the same kind of thing. Right now, there's one thing that could happen with this though. It says write the quadratic function in general form. This one doesn't say you can use decimals, right? So you could try. You could try to do this, and I think it probably will work. You could try to do this with regression. If it doesn't work, this is one of the ones where we have to fit this to intercept form, right? Because this gives us the intercepts. And so if we wrote this in y equals a times x minus p times x minus q mode. P and q are just the x-intercepts, right? So here's one x-intercept at x equals 4. Oops, 5, sorry. That's the point 5, 0. So 5 would go in for p. Here's the point 9, 0. So that's an x-intercept. So 9 would go in for q, right? Then all we have to do is find a, okay? So if I plug all that stuff in, what would I get? Well, I get y equals a times x minus 5 times x minus 9. To find a, I'll use this other point, okay? The other point has coordinates 7, negative 4. So those are just values of x and y that work. So we could plug them in to find a. So negative 4 would go in for y. 7 would go in for my x's. And we would just get the answer negative 4 equals a times, what do we got? Negative 4 minus 5. 7, sorry. 7 minus 5 times 7 minus 9. So what is that? Negative 4 equals a times 2 2 times negative 2. Yeah, so I just get a negative 4a. So what is a then? If negative 4 equals negative 4a, yeah, it's just 1, isn't it, if I divide both sides by negative 4. So if a equals 1, then we just get the answer. I would just make that into a 1, which wouldn't even write, would I? You don't write a 1 as a coefficient. So my answer would just be y equals x minus 5 times x minus 9, just FOILed out, right? But we could probably just use regression on this. Now, it might give you back decimal answers when you do regression. But if it does that, I'll show you a little trick. Okay, so if we go back to stat, oops. If we go back to stat edit, let's put in these points. So we get 5, 0, 7, negative 4, and 9, 0. I'll put in the corresponding y values. Okay, so if I go stat calc 5, okay, it gives them to me, right? Now, what if these were decimals? Okay, if they're decimals, you can't, unfortunately, you can't just hit second calc, convert to fraction, but what you could do is write down those decimals with a whole bunch of decimal places. For example, let's just say that one of them was 7.333 repeating or something like that, right? So we could go back here and do, get out of here. I could go 7.33333 and just write that fraction in all the way across. You have to go way out there though. But when you do that, if I go math, convert to fraction, look what it does. You could just type in the decimals with many, many decimal places. And as long as you have enough decimal places, the calculator will have the ability to still turn it into a fraction. Okay, make sense? Okay, that's it. That's it. Those are that summarizes the 4 problems on that test, the ones we did yesterday and then these 2, and that's it. Does that make any questions on those? You can do that, can't you? That's not bad.